right. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I'm really excited for this topic today. My name is Rita Fleming, and I'm going to be co-hosting today with my dear friend and colleague, Laura Guccione, who I've known for many years since I was a little girl. And she's someone that I really admire and look up to. And she really has a wealth of information on this subject that we're going to be talking about today. And so what our goal is for today is just education and solutions. And we want to explore and discover where are there breaks in our healthcare system and our food system, and how can we close those gaps, and what are the solutions. So we're going to dive into a little bit of history today, a little bit of exploration, as well as solutions. And we are partnered with an organic superfood company, and it's our mission to provide the highest quality and purity and potency nutrition. And we have a mission to improve the quality of our lives and those of the lives around us by improving the quality of food that we're putting into our bodies. And we're also looking to really transform our food system by divesting from chemical agriculture and investing into regenerative solutions and practices. And we're equally passionate about helping people improve their quality of life by making an impact and an income. So we're going to talk about some of these solutions today. And so let's go ahead and dive in. Laura, I'd love for you to share just a little bit on the history today of the interrelationship between big pharma and big agriculture. And, what are some of the solutions that we can also have moving forward? So thank you, Laura.
Thanks. And thanks for asking me what I'm excited about, because this book, actually, Seeds of Destruction, The Hidden Agenda of Genetic Manipulation, came into my world about 2 years ago, almost the same time Purium did. So it was very timely for me, because when I was pregnant with my daughter, who was 20, I was asking the city market manager how I knew what was genetically modified and what wasn't. And after many phone calls of people ignoring me, I ended in Boston with the regional director, who said, "Lady, I don't know what's in the food. We just order it." So that has always been on the back of my head, because I knew if all these other countries, and my family's all from Europe, and if these other countries in Europe aren't allowing it, what's wrong with it? And my niece was a Bush administration appointee. And the Bush administration was the time when the genetically modified allowance was pushed through with extremely little testing. And this was really spearheaded by one man whose name is Tom Vilsack. And he was known as the governor. He was the governor of Iowa at the time, but he was known as Mr. Monsanto. Backing up just 5 years before this, some of Monsanto's folks went to Germany to meet with Bayer Pharmaceuticals, and those scientists actually put the first, and it's an interesting name, it's called the agribacteria, into a soybean, and that became the first genetically modified seed. The shadow of that is the hidden agenda, really, is that they simultaneously created Roundup out of glyphosate, so that this genetically modified seed could be doused in Roundup, but the product would still grow. We all know, those here know, that this means that microbiome of the soil is killed. So therein lays the bit of the problem. But I think it's almost a hidden agenda that Bayer Pharmaceuticals actually created the GMO seed, not Monsanto, not some weird scientist, and it was specifically marketed to feed the masses. They then took it to first India, where it completely destroyed a culture of mustard seed oil. Mustard seed oil was a part of the culture that kept every neighborhood basically alive, because it fed their culture, it fed their body, but it also was allowance for people to buy. They knew exactly who to buy the mustard seed oil from and who made the best mustard seed oil. But they came in, it was very easy to buy the India government because they're poor, and they introduced soybean. And the reason they introduced soybean is because it requires the most herbicide. So they destroyed the culture basically in about 5 years, and the cancer rates went through the roof, something that they hadn't experienced before. Then they went to Argentina. And I'm 60, and I remember the old time life books, and my mother was a big traveler. And Argentina had a 5% poverty rate at this time. Cattle, they've always been famous for their beef. Cattle roamed freely. Everybody grew their own produce. This was the culture. Once again, very easy to buy the government. The government then did a manipulative deal where they took the real estate from these farmers and said, you know, we're going to actually sell it back to you at a great rate, and we're going to give you all of these tools, and we're going to bring over all these machines so that you can learn to grow a monocrop, and you're going to grow it bigger with this genetically modified seed. Well, we saw the destruction of that, but very few people really looked at it. And now they have an 85% poverty rate. And it was because this is the effect. It's not just our health. I'm going to start crying because it's so sad. It's culturally an effect. So, sorry. So then, just to keep this a little short, they brought it in, of course, to America, and I was on a phone call. I missed our Monday map call last night because I'm in another organization called Moms Across America, and I was really excited to hear what they had to say because they were talking about glyphosate in children. And I was shocked to hear the woman say she could not believe that we had more glyphosate in America than China. And it's like, okay, here's a little bit of what's happened since the introduction of GMO into America is that man, Tom Vilsack, lobbied heavily for farming subsidies for upper middle class farmers who were really hanging on. And wheat was only 70 cents a barrel, and they said, we're going to give you $7 a barrel. So of course you're going to grow it, and you have to use the genetically modified seed. Ironically, this was when I was really getting Yoga Wrap off the ground, and I spent a lot of time at the Mother Earth news fairs. I was always a presenter and a vendor because I knew they would understand posture as far as health. And we would hang out in the hotel rooms afterwards, and they were all seed collectors, and they were saying, we have to really save these heirloom seeds, everybody. There was all this talk about how they were trying to take our seeds away. And I really didn't understand at that time. So it's very cool to be part of this and see this, see the longevity. So Tom Vilsack got the lobbying going. So because that's how GMO really spread in America. And of course, the marketing that we had to do it for the masses. The whole time, and pharmaceuticals are necessary and important, but the whole time Bayer Pharmaceuticals sitting in the background actually producing more of the ailments that this glyphosate is causing. So on to Tom Vilsack. 3 years ago, he became the chief of staff of the USDA. And at that time, 3 years before that, Bayer Pharmaceuticals bought Monsanto. So Monsanto doesn't own Monsanto anymore. Bayer Pharmaceuticals did. Last year, they said at the end of this year, we are not allowed to use Roundup on commercial lawns anymore because it's not a good business decision. There has been no law passed, but it's solely because the lawsuit cost is beginning to outweigh the profit cost. Fortunately for them, nobody has brought up a lawsuit for the direct link of cancer from the food I'm eating, the direct link of autism for the food we're eating, the direct link of all of the health problems that we all know exist because of the food system. So that's a little bit of the history, except for one more really sad part that Tom Vilsack did literally 2 weeks after he became chief of staff of USDA. And I'm going to break everybody's heart here, but the cartons of berries that you buy that say organically grown does not mean they do not have glyphosate in them anymore. He allowed that to be used on hydroponically grown crops. So when you want to buy organic that is hydroponically grown, you need to make sure that it's local. And I'm really sad, but this is why I've said to Dave Sandoval and said to Mary Beth and Rita, without this, I would feel hopeless. Because I knew the moment I was 40 years old and got pregnant that GMO was wrong for my children. And I never cared about life so much until I became a mother. And this is why it's important for us to be doing this. Yeah. So that's a little bit of the history.
Wow. Thank you so much.
I could go on and on for hours with things, and if anybody wants to know more, I have a slew of info, and you don't want to go to websites and you don't want to Google this stuff. You want to go to the library and get books, because we need journalists that are fact checkers. We don't need analytics leading us down a rabbit hole.
Absolutely. And yeah, if you could point to some resources in the chat, or we can get that out to people. And I know you're writing articles on this as well. We can link that in the resources as well. But thank you, Laura, for just highlighting history, because it's so important. Like you said, we need journalists who are diving deeper into history and really fact checking everything and seeing what's going on. And yeah, Seeds of Destruction is one of the books that Laura recommends. And, you know, our food system is the foundation of our health, and our healthy soil and water and air is the foundation of our health. And so what we're doing here is we're really working to provide access to nutrient-dense food that's pure. And so we're testing all of our superfoods to make sure that they're not contaminated by glyphosate and other toxins. And we're really working to partner with regenerative and organic farmers to uplift their work. And something that's really interesting, you know, Laura, in talking about the history of GMOs and glyphosate, is one thing that glyphosate does is it kills off the soil microbiome, like Laura was saying, which also kills off our gut microbiome, which is our immune health and our immune function and our ability to absorb nutrients, especially the medicinal properties of food, and as well our amino acids, which are the building blocks of life. So glyphosate actually blocks our absorption of our amino acids, which is why we're seeing such rapid rates of degeneration. And there's lots of studies that go alongside this that you can dive in and research and learn more about. But we just want to be advocates of health and sharing education and share solutions of what's possible, because this is a huge problem that we're all faced with, and especially the younger generations and our children, and the food systems that they're inheriting, which are really depleted. And so one of the things, you know, that we've seen in correlation is with the introduction of glyphosate, we've also seen the explosion of chronic disease and degenerative conditions. In the 1970s, 1 in 5,000 children were dealing with autism, and today 1 in 36 children are diagnosed with autism. And it's expected, if we continue to go at this rate, it will be 1 in 3 children by 2035. So that's not very far away, and that would really collapse our whole system, our social system, our economic system, our health system. So what can we do about it? And that's what we really want to talk about. And like I mentioned, we are partnered with an amazing superfood company. Dave and Amy's Dave and Amy are the owners and founders and visionaries who really saw that there was a problem with our food system 30 years ago. And they started to come up with a plan and a trajectory to help people get access to healthy food, to nutrient dense food. And we're working with amazing programs that, again, are tested and made sure that they're clean and that they're healthy and that they're really supporting healthy soil systems, healthy ecosystems, going plastic free. And when I was introduced to this amazing company, it was by my younger sister, Mary. And I was feeling really depleted. You know, my background's in regenerative health. I was able to get out of chronic pain from a near-death car accident through those principles, which was a miracle. It took me 12 years to learn, you know, solutions to get to that point. And I'm just so passionate about helping people find solutions and find access to this education. And so it's been an amazing 3.5 years of working with Purium and this community. And I saw that my health went from feeling depleted into a state of vibrancy, you know, just by getting access to nutrient dense foods. And I had been studying for 10 years previous to that, soil health and permaculture and, you know, regenerative farming and all of these things, and to find a company that's actually implementing these practices and has the health of our planet as number one, because that impacts the health of all of us. So, yeah, Laura, do you want to share a little bit of your story with your health through this superfood transformation?
Yeah, sure. Mary introduced me to this too, and I'm really beyond grateful that she was persistent with getting in touch with me, because I thought I was too busy to bother with this. And a lot of my customers give me that same feeling when you realize, though, it's actually easier to fill your body with nutrition this way. And what I noticed was a calmness in my nervous system. I've always been super high strung and almost too high strung. I was spaz out and going 5 different directions at once, and nothing was ever completely finished. And this gave me that clarity. It gave me the calmer nervous system to finish tasks, which was great. And I wished I would have had this when the kids were little. I always think I would have been a better mom, because I would have been even more present. I would, you know, especially with 2. I had Irish twins. And since then, my health has gone to a level that I really did not know was there. And I've always been an athlete. I never really thought of that term, but I rode my bike for miles and miles. I always wrote mountain biking guidebooks. I was always a ski guide somewhere around the world. So for this to be able to take my level of health at 60 to feel stronger than when I was 30, it's imperative, because that's the other component that I want people to understand, is that our food doesn't have the nutrition. We're really doing a disservice to our children by putting a blind eye to the lack of nutrition in our food.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. And I've been reading a statistic that was sharing that it takes 200 carrots. We'd have to eat 200 carrots to get the equivalent of 1 carrot that's grown in nutrient dense soils. And that's how depleted our soils are right now. They're deficient by 90% of what they used to be. So yeah, this is a really big conversation. And you know what I love about our programs is you can just flood your body, add these superfoods in, and really get these micronutrients. And the first thing that I learned in regenerative health when I was trying to get out of chronic pain, the first step was alkalizing the body, getting the body alkaline. And when that happens, it changes our chemistry because of the minerals that we're absorbing. And these superfoods are flooding your body with that alkaline chemistry. And what happens at a microscopic level is your cells are able to absorb nutrients, and they're able to eliminate toxins and absorb oxygen. And so that's really step one when we want to find vibrant health is flood our body with that alkalinity so that we can get circulation to all of our tissues and organs and glands so that they can strengthen, and also so that they can eliminate toxins and wastes which we're exposed to on a daily basis. The next thing I really love about this solution is I was sharing how glyphosate stops that absorption of our amino acids, which are building blocks of life, of proteins. And we have our super amino 23, which is 99.9% bioavailable. And that's absorbing straight into your body, impacting your nervous system, your muscles, your collagen production, the tone and tightness of your skin, your hair, all of it. So that's really important. And it takes that burden off of the kidneys and the liver and the digestive system. The next thing that really stood out to me was we have the only clinically proven solution to remove glyphosate from the body. And that's called Biomedic. And so it's restoring that gut microbiome diversity, eliminating and pulling out that glyphosate. And one of the things that glyphosate does, we're all exposed to it. We're exposed, 4.5 billion pounds of glyphosate is sprayed annually. So it's in our food, it's in our air, and it's in our water. And within 20 minutes of exposure, that creates leaky gut symptoms. And when we have leaky gut, the toxins leak into our lymphatic system and our body, creating that systemic inflammatory response. So that's why we've seen such a spike in so many chronic and degenerative conditions. So it's really beautiful to have something that reduces that C-reactive protein by 74%, within 6 weeks. And then finally, we have a tart cherry juice, which is part of our foundational programs. And what I love about that is it really cleans up your lymphatic system, and it removes the acidic waste that gets caught in our body, and really opens up those kidneys and supports our deep sleep. So I love studying with different longevity practitioners and experts throughout the world, and lifestyle plays a huge impact in our longevity and our quality of life. And simple things that we can incorporate into our life is better nutrition that's actually nutrient dense. Fasting actually turns on our anti-aging genes and turns off the genes that are contributing to unhealthy conditions. And what I love about these superfoods too is they really support your body. You're going into a sort of fasting where you're taking that burden off of your digestion, but you're flooding your body with alkaline nutrients. So that's super neat. Another just good tip is getting into hot and cold exposure. Being in a sauna a few times a week can reduce your risk of Alzheimer's by 65% because it's removing that plaque from the brain. So there's so much that we can do through lifestyle, through food, through community, through environment, and healthy habits. So we're just here to really help people along that way, and make it easy to achieve those healthy habits. So I want to transition here in the last bit of our call a little bit more about our company and our business and our solutions. So we're here to provide planetary health. We're here to provide solutions in our food system and in our health and our healthy habits, and also here to make a larger impact and help others make an impact and an income as well, if that's something that they're looking for. So our community is really based on these pillars. And if you decide that you want to dive into a deeper transformation in your health, you can connect with the person that invited you here, and they can support you with resources and getting you started. And also, if you're somebody that's like, wow, I want to make a bigger impact, I want to contribute to this change and this transformation, transforming our food systems, then you can also get an affiliate code and join us in a partnership. And basically, we need more help. We need more voices getting this message out there, and sharing these solutions. So that's also an amazing option. And this partnership and community has completely transformed my life, allowed me to pursue all of my passions, all the ways that I want to give back to the world and give back to my community. This company has provided that platform and that umbrella for me to do that. So, Laura, I'd love to interview you for a minute about your story and, why you chose to partner with Purium and what your vision is moving forward.
Thanks, Rita. I really chose to partner with them initially just to support Mary. And then I realized what an incredible platform it was to get this message out there. And I, at up until the last 3.5, 4 years, I've been back in real estate, which I've done for almost 10 years off and on. And coming back recently from the James Cancer Institute, where I went at the end of the year to help my niece, who had a bone marrow transplant, leave the hospital after 4 months and make her way home, really solidified it for me that I'm in 100%. Real estate doesn't align with my values, as I live in a town that I've been in for 40 years and I love so much and was always a hidden away gem. And now, nobody can afford to live here that is new and coming in. So I didn't want to be part of that. And seeing the billion-dollar cancer industry, it is a serious business. And I really saw that there was more pharmaceuticals than concerns for your health. Her first meal after 4 months of being in a hospital, literally the first snack that she was brought was a brownie and a can of Sprite. This is a bone marrow transplant for lymphatic cancer. And this is the same one that's a presidential appointee. And I'm like, we got to get out of here. And I came back from that and I got sick for the first time in over 20 years. I'm never sick. My children have never known me to be sick. And I was deathly sick because of what I witnessed. And I'm so grateful because of the money I've been making from this too, from the ranks I've been hitting, have helped me be able to say, I'm not going to do real estate anymore. I'm going in this full board. And I need that. I mean, we need that income. I couldn't survive without it. And I'm seeing it grow. And what is most important too is seeing other people that I love so much that have come into my life that want to also have the same freedom and time and location freedom that I want, and helping them achieve that. That's been phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more.
Look at him right there on the chairlift.
Yeah, Bob eating. Oh, I love this. I couldn't agree more. I think the most rewarding aspect. It's a beautiful view. I think the most rewarding aspect of this work is just, there's so many layers to it, right? It's getting to deeper solutions in our soil health, in our water quality, in our food systems. And it's also providing solutions for those that want to create a larger impact and income, and, getting to mentor others that are creating their dream life or that are aligning with their deeper vision and values. That's been so profoundly rewarding. And this business has also been my greatest vehicle of personal development, and overcoming and moving beyond my own limitations, both physically, mentally, and financially. So we have a really, really potent community here. And if you have questions, if you want to learn more, please just connect back in with the person that invited you, as we have so many resources and solutions on all of the topics that we've talked about today. And there's a lot more work to do. We have a lot further to go, but I'm just very grateful for the solutions that we have, because we can really make a difference in our own lives and our own choices, and really make a big difference in our community. So thank you for taking the time to be with us and learn about this important topic and subject, and continue to dive deeper into it. And I hope you all have a beautiful day.
Thanks, Rita.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Laura. Thank you,
Everybody.
Love
Bob.
you.
Thank you.
Michelle, Ginger. Have a beautiful day.
Yeah.